The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Welcome to your Health and Wellness Hour, sponsored by Luminosity Wellness Center here in Las Vegas, coming to you from the studios of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting. Our goal is to incite and ignite all your senses and curiosities. So sit back, relax, open your mind and your heart, and enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to the Health and Wellness Hour. My name is Abram McGrath, and we're here today at Luminosity Wellness Center in the North Valley of Las Vegas. We're bringing together the community today. We like to represent all demographics of Las Vegas, including our little furry feline buddies that help us with emotional support. So my longtime friend Leslie Hannifin is here today to bring us a little bit closer to a near and dear cause to her heart, and she's going to explain her up and coming events and why she is so passionate about this. Every day we like to incorporate a new practice here at the Wellness Center, and so we definitely need to bring it closer to home and just take a step back and smell the roses and realize that our emotional support crew and tribe is like #1 in our lives. And so Leslie, if you could tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what more we can do.
Absolutely. So last year I was in a place in my life where it was very transitional, and I wanted something to kind of focus on other than myself. Maybe it's escapism or something like that. But I wanted something greater than myself to focus on because I was going through some things. And one of the animal rescues that I am extremely fond of, it's called Marley's Mutts Dog Rescue, which is located in Tehachapi/Bakersfield, California. They posted that they were looking for volunteers to run the Chicago Marathon for them last year. And I said, okay, why not? I'd never run a marathon before, not really much of a runner.
But you talked about it a lot.
But I love dogs.
Really wanted to do this.
Yeah, so I was just gung-ho to do it, and part of the obligation is to fundraise for them. So last year, there were 16 of us on the team, and we were able to raise enough money for Marley's Mutts to give them a down payment for land where they can build a sanctuary.
Oh my goodness.
We're calling it a rescue ranch. It's going to be an amazing place to, house dogs in need, and a foster area where they can become adopted. But it's also going to be a place for the community to come together. Zach Scow, who's the founder of Marley's Mutts, was even talking about wanting to have yoga sessions there. He's a really
full,
cool
holistic,
guy.
Retreat for everybody to come hang out.
Yeah. So it'll be really cool. It's really amazing to see it coming together and to see what we were able to do last year as a group, and to actually see it come to fruition this year. They just bought the property a couple of months ago, so it's incredible to see it all coming together. And so when they asked me to run again this year, not only did I say I would run Chicago again, but I'm running New York City as well.
God.
Because
amazing.
I'm a lunatic.
Why not?
I'm a lunatic.
Let's take our crazy and go
exactly.
Shoot for the stars.
Channel
with
it into a good place.
Exactly. So is this 16 people Team Las Vegas, or is this?
It's actually
Just
from
everybody.
all over the place.
Okay.
In fact, 16 ran last year. I think we might have a few more of that for Chicago at least this year. I believe we have 26 runners.
Wow.
Yes. So it's really cool. I don't think we got as many slots for New York City. I think there might only be 5 of us. So 4 runners and me.
So when are the dates on those?
So the Chicago Marathon is on October 8th, and it's actually the 40th anniversary of the Chicago Marathon. So it's a really cool event to be participating in. And then shy of a month later, on November 5th, we'll be running the New York City Marathon, which is extremely exciting. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Yeah.
That's so cool. So tell us more about Marley's Mutts.
So one of their kind of mottos is rescue dogs rescuing people.
Awesome.
So one of their major programs is called Positive Change, and it's basically a way that they can go rescue sheltered dogs and find a place for them to go, which happens to be in a penitentiary. So what happens from there is inmates are, they sign up for the program and are, some are selected to be in it. Of course, they have to make sure they qualify.
Right.
And what happens is just this incredible transition with the inmates who may not have been able to smile for a decade, because you can't do that in the pen. It's
right,
frowned upon. It's literally frowned upon. But they become hardened, and they have to create a shell for self-preservation.
For sure.
And so this kind of gives them a little bit of their humanity back. And while they're doing that, they are training these dogs so that once they're adopted, they have a much better shot of having a great life, a happy life.
So where is this located? Do you know?
They have a few penitentiaries in California. And that's actually one of the really hard sections, for the fundraising. Those programs cost a lot of money.
And for sure.
So they're,
because they're probably privatized.
Yeah, it's been a rough summer for Marley's Mutts in regards to that. And so, the funds are, the lifeblood of these programs. They won't survive without them. So
absolutely. What other programs are you looking at?
There's a great initiative. So, a lot of sheltered animals are euthanized because of space, for no other reason than there's no space for them. So it's something that a lot of these rescues are trying to go towards, is the emphasis on spade and neutering your animals so that they're not accidentally procreating and
inundating the system.
They're just keeping the problem going. So if we can nip that in the bud, it will slowly decrease the need for euthanization in the shelters. So that's a great thing that they do. Plus they reach out to the community so that they have discounted spade or neuter opportunities for maybe people that have a lower income, who say they can't afford to get their animals spayed or neutered on their own.
Right, like
so
a
sometimes
subsidy.
Right. So it's a great way, to kind of reach out to the communities.
So they're out of California, but this is an outreach that anyone can access nationwide? Absolutely.
You can donate to the organization at www.marleysmutts.org. Those are just two of the programs. They also have some amazing dogs that they've rescued that have become service animals. Hooch, who is kind of the mascot.
Child.
Yeah, he is the poster child. He had a really rough start in life. We're pretty sure that he was used in dogfighting. And he's, not a fighter. He's a lover. And he was punished severely by his captors and was abandoned. And so I don't know how graphic you want me to get on here.
You can do whatever you feel.
But but he was actually, his ears were chopped off, as was his tongue, his entire tongue. So if you know much about dogs, that's how they cool themselves with their tongue. That's how they lap water. It's how they move the food around in their mouth so that they can eat. And so he was on the brink of death when they found him, skin and bones. And, you know, as a repercussion of this, he still struggles to regulate his temperature. So they had to figure out a way to feed him. He had to learn how to drink water. It's quite funny. If you go to their Facebook page or go to their website, you can see some of the triumphs that this big orange bear has made through the years. He gets by, and he's so resilient, and he's an ambassador for how amazing dogs are. And you know, he's touched a lot of lives. He was actually awarded the Humane Society Hero Dog Award last year. Yeah, so it's a really cool thing. So yeah, that's the Miracle Mutts. You know, they do a lot with service. And then we've got the Miles for Marley's Mutts. We're running our butts off. So,
well, you know, oh darn, I gotta get in shape to go do something cool.
Exactly.
So that brings me back to you. And why, I mean, you touched a little when we first opened, but you got to tell us about where your love of animals came from, Leslie.
You know what? It was just innate. Ever since I was a young kid, animals in general, especially dogs, have just been where my heart is. They're medicine. They really are. You know.
Tell us about some of yours.
Well, I have 2 mutts of my own. Bella is my first. She came from a local shelter, Lead Animal Shelter, or it's also known as the Animal Foundation.
Of Las Vegas, yep.
Yeah, she was dropped off by, I guess, her original owners, adopted by someone else, and returned.
Oh, wow.
But I'm so happy
Lucky
that she was returned, yes. And it's crazy, when I went to get her, you know, and meet her for the first time, someone else was occupying her time. They were thinking about taking her home. Ooh. And so occasionally I'd, you know, peek around the corner and see what was going on. And every time I looked around, she was staring back at me. Oh. I would be, you know, tens of yards away, you know, peeking around. She was zeroed in. It was meant to be.
Love at first sight.
It was.
And she looks golden. She's part golden.
She looks like a golden retriever, but she's all kinds of other things instead. So, and then Zach, he's our newest. He is our foster fail. We intended on.
Tell us what that is.
So, you know, a lot of people have the best of intentions when they decide to foster a dog or a cat, or, you know, and they don't realize that they'll fall in love with those animals, and they fail to actually get them adopted and end up keeping them.
The heartstring happened.
And he's a big goofball. He was the product of a hoarding situation. It was
in Las Vegas?
Pahrump. Actually, this happened a few years ago. Some of your viewers might be familiar with this story. I won't go into too much detail,
but but it made pretty big headlines.
It wasn't a good situation, and he's lucky to be alive. He is just a big sweetheart.
So how old's Bella?
Bella is about 9 now. Yeah, we got her when she was about a year old, maybe a little less. And Zach is maybe 4 or 5, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we don't know for certain.
Tell us how these guys have made your life what it is. I mean, honestly, like you said, the animals are rescuing the humans.
Yeah,
so how
they do.
How have Bella and Zach rescued you, Leslie?
You know, they're medicine. They give you a purpose. They give you a responsibility. And once you are responsible for their happiness and their health and their well-being, it kind of gives you, I'm sure people that have children kind of can understand in the same fashion that, you know, it's something beyond yourself. And it kind of grounds you and gives you a purpose, and it keeps you, you know, from kind of sinking into bad thoughts or bad habits or, whatever, demons you might have, when you need to
go check in with them every couple hours.
If you have to, if you have to do certain things because it can't, be skipped. It's
So specifically, like every day, we're talking about health and wellness every day and contributing to your own well-being and stopping. So they help you connect with nature.
Absolutely. They get me out on the trails. Love taking Bella up to Utah. She loves to swim in the lakes up there. Loves to hike, chase turkeys, bunnies, birds,
which gets you out
whatever.
Of your funk. Like if you're like feeling out of it, you can go reconnect.
Absolutely. Get out in nature. It's cleansing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell us about, you recently went to Thailand in Cambodia.
I did, yeah.
And connected with some bigger animals.
I did.
What did you do there?
So, as I said, I love animals, but not just dogs. And I really think elephants are pretty rad. And there's a lot of issues with, using them for business, whether it be circus or especially in Thailand, a lot of places use them to carry tourists around. And you would think that that an elephant being so large would have this great big strong back that would have no problem carrying 4 grown adults plus a chair. But it's exactly the opposite. Their backs are not made for that, and it's actually quite painful for them. So there's something called the Queen's Project in Thailand, where the mahouts, which are the kind of trainers / owners of the elephants, it's an initiative to get them to do voluntourism instead, where people can go and, for instance, what we did was we cut down bamboo for them and we're able to feed it to them. They eat hundreds of pounds of food a day. We got to walk them to the river and bathe them.
And you got to bathe with them?
Yeah. I have to say my favorite part of the entire trip was when we were in the water. There was a 15-year-old pregnant elephant. And the elephant that I personally walked to the river was a bigger bull. And he and his mahout kind of went further out into the water. So it wasn't like he needed his alone time in the water. So I was like, all right, I'm elephantless. I need an elephant to commune with here in the water. So I gravitated towards this beautiful elephant. So I'm just rubbing her belly, and her baby.
She was pregnant?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They told us, but her baby was moving with my hands and like kicking towards me, and it was one of the most incredible moments. I can't. It was just incredible. Yeah, the next time we walked them to the river, I was like, everybody, we have to go. So, there were 5 or 10 of us just like...
Leslie's the cheerleader, like, everybody, you have to do this. Your life depends on it.
Yeah, it was incredible, yeah.
Well, we're speaking with Leslie Hannifin, who is representing Marley's Mutts. We're going to go ahead and take a few minutes to hear from our sponsors, so please come back and listen to the rest.
Put her hand in mine and said she loved me so very long ago.
Hey, how's it going? You can just throw your name up on the list and we'll get right to you. Yeah, thanks, dude. Thanks for coming in. Let me just clean this spot up and then we'll get right to you. You can hop on up if you're ready. Welcome to the shop. You need a shave too, though, right?
I don't know if I would accept a shave from somebody who's unshaven.
I look like a child when I have a clean-shaven face.
No, I wouldn't want a child cutting my hair. And I'd also need to know that the blades have been sanitized thoroughly.
I can guarantee you that the barbicide is 100% authentic, and these are sanitized tools I'm using.
Well, what is the...
Have you ever gotten a straight razor shave?
Is there any other kind? stuff smells like Irish Spring.
Brings me back to childhood.
Did you grow up in a chemical plant? Hurry up.
Yeah, well, you know. Now you look like $1 million.
Well, that's your job. I'll be sure and mention your facility during my show tonight.
Hey guys, I'm Corey Taylor from Corey Taylor Talks. I would love if you would watch my show and a bunch of the other amazing, incredible shows here at WWDBTV.com.
And welcome back to the Health and Wellness Hour. My name is Abram McGrath. We're here at Luminosity Wellness Center speaking to Leslie Hannifin. Leslie has a wonderful, wonderful cause that she's speaking about today, and we're gathering the community together to help our little furry babies. One great thing about Luminosity Wellness Center here on Smoke Ranch in Tenaya Way in North Las Vegas is that we like to take a minute and just integrate into our daily lives a little bit of well-being. It doesn't have to be hard. It's really simple. Just go take a break, take a breath of fresh air, and go out and celebrate your communities. And the way that we've been able to do that here in Las Vegas is dog parks and different places like that. And so Leslie's going to give us some more insight on her spiritual awakening with her dogs, her emotional awakening with her animals, and what this cause means to her. And we're hoping that it just brings everybody together here. Leslie, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, it's actually kind of given me a direction in my life. You know, everyone always talks about trying to find their purpose. And, you know, I think that in order to do that, one of the ways of going about it is to look at the things that you love the most. And you kind of gather those together and you figure out a way to, you know, combine them and, you know,
and represent
forward your career out of it. So, you know, for me, I've been volunteering with, you know, rescues for years, and I want to do more than just the occasional, you know, volunteer work. So, you know, after the marathons are over, my next focus is going to be dog training.
Excellent.
So I don't know what avenue I'll end up going down, whether it will be, you know, training service animals or rescues,
maybe on these,
you know,
retreat
behavioral
areas, or
yeah, we'll see where the road takes me. You know,
So
it's
cool.
kind of exciting, the not knowing, see what I'm better at and things like that. But I know that's where my passion is, and you know, I think that's, you know, how you find your purpose. You know, what is your passion?
Right. And what have you loved forever since you were a kid? You know, what makes you feel like a kid inside? I think, you know, that's one thing that...
Dogs, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the wonderful thing. You know, every time you walk in the door from a hard day at work, you've got that waggy tail, that smile from ear to ear, and that enthusiasm, you know. It's just a beautiful feeling, and it erases anything bad that happened in your day. That unconditional love that they have for you, and you know, it's, you just want to return it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about your up and coming event and how it's bringing together Las Vegas.
Yeah, so I'm in the hospitality industry.
That's where we met.
Yes, and
service.
That's right. I mean, that's what this town is made of. And so, you know, when you're fundraising, it's kind of hard.
Tricky.
It's hard to get donations a lot of times because everyone is asking for donations for a lot of great causes, but you can't give to everyone. So it's, you know, totally understandable, and people get, you know, kind of desensitized to it, you know, and maybe a little tired of being asked over and over for things. And so I thought that instead of just asking people to donate, you know, for my fundraiser, I thought we would, you know, have an event, have a
Party,
a
celebration.
get the community together. And I'm so fortunate to have some, amazing people in the hospitality industry that are on board to, help pull this event off.
So the fundraiser is, remind the viewers if they're just checking in.
Yep. So the fundraiser is for Marleys, Mutts Dog Rescue. I'm running 2 marathons for them this year. Now, when I signed up to run the marathons, I obligated myself to a certain amount of money to fundraise.
A goal.
That's right. So each runner, has an amount that they are going to fundraise. Yes. However, going to the events, the airfare, meals, the hotel stay, that's all on me. So all of the fundraising money is going straight to the rescue.
Awesome.
And so for the event, it will be on September 17th, which is a Sunday, not this Sunday, but next, at the Sand Dollar Lounge, which is on Polaris in Spring Mountain. And it's going to be a great time. We're going to have live music with a local musician. His name is Dan Fester. We've got, a lot of industry folks that have donated products and services and gift cards.
You can name
little
some
swag. We've got STK Las Vegas, Joe's Stone Crab. We've got Angel's Envy, which is our liquor sponsor. So any drinks purchased with their bourbon, the money will go towards the fundraising event. So it's basically going to be a great raffle. Buy raffle tickets and you could win, some cool
prizes.
fabulous prizes.
Luminosity is donating some through Hearts for Humanity.
Excellent. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
And it's just a great time, get everyone together for a great cause.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. So to bring us back around, we wanted to just kind of highlight a little bit of the struggles that we see in our community here, in which in this little microcosm could be happening in the macrocosm of the nation, the world, whatever is going on. And so we just wanted to highlight, to kind of get people to not separate themselves from their animals so much. People sometimes get animals and don't invest what needs to be invested. So can we talk a little bit about that in a kind of positive way to where we're about education?
Absolutely. A lot of times, a family will get a puppy for their children for Christmas, and they don't consider the time investment that it takes to turn that puppy into a reasonable adult dog. And you can't just take it to, one class and it stick. It's a lifelong training. You have to instill, behaviors and
modifications.
And reinforce them as well. That's some really important.
Like the kids.
And and it can be difficult, a lot of times you have these very high energy dogs and it's 189 degrees outside and your dog has all this energy it needs to get out. It's it can be difficult here in the summer to find ways of getting that energy out. So, a tired dog is a happy dog.
Oh, okay. Do you have pointers for family, like selecting breeds maybe for their styles?
There are certainly...
we're doing a lot of rescues, so a lot of them aren't pure breed. Or
and,
like
some
that.
are and some aren't, but you really can't rely on a breed-specific behavior.
Okay.
You could luck out and, have a perfect golden retriever that's great with children. My dog, for instance, Bella, looks like she's a golden retriever, and she's as sweet as she can be, but she doesn't like kids. It's just part of her nature, and we just, keep them separate, for everyone's safety. So you really can't determine, how a dog will be. how its personality will
Kinda like a
blossom.
kid, too.
Absolutely, just based on their breed. Of course, there are some tendencies that are breed specific, but they're definitely not. There may be a glance, but
so being
not the whole
educated,
story.
being aware. So where are some wonderful resources that we could go to find this in our community? Do you think about anybody kind of researching for their family?
Sure. Well, there are a lot of dog training facilities in town.
Animal Foundation has one on the east side over there.
So that's a way to do it. But it's also just being conscious. Taking the time yourself and creating that bond with your animal. I found as soon as we got Bella that one of our bonding experiences was brushing her. She is the furriest dog ever. And so, you've got to keep up with it, or else you're going to be living in a fur castle. And but that was one of our bonding moments. And that's time spent together, and
it's so simple.
It's grooming her.
It's
so
simple.
It's a win-win. It's like brushing your daughter's hair.
Yeah.
It's or taking them on walks. Especially in the summertime in Vegas, you have to be very careful. The pavement is so hot. Not only that, but a lot of dogs have a coat. Their fur coat that just absorbs the sun. Ooh. Bella is one of them. She, even in the winter time, if she's out in the sun, you can feel the heat on her body.
Emanating.
Whereas another dog, it's cool to the touch.
Oh, wow.
So you just have to, be aware of your dog's
makeup.
And how, they can deal with it. So, we play with sprinklers. That's one of her favorite things to do. She's a water dog for sure. So she loves to chase the water, and getting her wet every day, running around, definitely cools her off, with it evaporating. That kind of creates a little bit of an air condition for her. Make sure they always have water. We always have extra water when we take Bella on her walks. There are so many people that neglect to bring water with them. It's I don't get it. Now, I've noticed as I'm talking, I'm speaking so much about Bella and her walks, but I do have another dog. His name is Zach, and he is feral. He's still kind of reluctant to leave the house. So hopefully, once I am, in the dog training phase, hopefully I can help get him out of that shell and help him with his confidence.
Aww, buddy.
I mean, he's scared of the world. Aww. Bless his heart, as we say in the South.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're going to take another break and be right back with you and speaking with Leslie Hannifin from Marley's Mutts.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. So it's not a bad idea every now and then to check your battery. If you don't know how to do it, have somebody check it for you. Just a visual inspection can tell you a lot about your battery. So as we can see here, this battery's got a hold down. It's nice and tight. The cables are on. They don't look bad. We've got a cover. We don't see any corrosion. Everything's kind of tight, looking good. A little bit of dirt, that's normal, but nothing's leaking. No real cause for alarm here. So that's a good sign. Doesn't mean it's good, but at least visually we know that it's intact. Okay, so we're looking at a battery here that shows signs of corrosion. We want to test that battery to make sure it's good. Usually when they're getting like this, there's going to be a problem, leaking some acid at the top. We ran the test and we find out it has 396 cold cranking amps, but the battery requires 650. So it's just not enough. The battery is going to go soon. Better to know now than later. Okay, so the benefits of checking the cable is because this cable's rotted out. What we'll find is this is the problem, not the battery. So it'll save you from buying a battery, still having the no start, only to find out that it's a cable. This type of corrosion is common in diesels. Okay, so we're getting ready to jump the car, but we have to have some battery cables. And we have to check those too before we hook them up to the battery. So here we have our standard set of battery cables. We just look them over, see if the ends are frayed, if everything's connected all right. Everything looks good here. Wouldn't hurt to check the rest of the cable just to make sure the dog didn't get it and chew it up. We have red and black. Red's positive, black's negative. You always want to hook the positive up first and then the negative. And I'll show you how that's done right now. Keep these off to the side so they're not touching each other. Hook up your positive. You can find that right here by the plus sign, the negative sign. Plus is positive, red. Make sure that's securely hooked up. Keeping these away from each other, hook up your negative cable. Just got to fight it on there, figure out a way to get it. Wiggle it a little bit so it ensures a good connection. Now you're transferring voltage. If I hit these two together, we're going to spark. Kind of want to avoid that. Won't kill you. Kind of fun. A lot of people think if they can turn the headlights on, the battery's fine. That's not always the case. It takes very little amperage to turn a light on, but it takes a lot of amperage to start the starter. I recommend checking the charging system every oil change. At Sun Valley Automotive, there's never a charge for that. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
So welcome back to the Health and Wellness Hour here at Luminosity Wellness Center. We're brought to you by WWDBTV.com. My name is Abram McGrath, and I'm here with Leslie Hannifin. Leslie is a friend of mine from our old service days at Joe's Stone Crab. And we've developed quite a friendship over the years. I've missed her, actually. We've missed each other these past little bits, right?
But time it's like it didn't go by at the same time.
Absolutely. And we're little evolved humans after, some of the little bumps in the road and coming back around. So pretty cool. She's here today representing Marley's Mutts. Marley's Mutts is a wonderful foundation to help rescue furry babies around, especially dogs, right?
Yep. They're actually, so with the money that we raised last year by running the marathon, myself and all the other runners, we were able to, purchase land to have a sanctuary for dogs.
And that's located in California?
That's right. It's going to be in Tehachapi. It is. They just purchased it a couple months ago. And Heather, she is part of the organization as well. She's actually Zach, the founder's girlfriend. She's pretty awesome. Yeah. She is a huge horse fanatic. Oh, wow. And so she wants to bring horses onto rescued, of course, horses. And there's a beautiful magic that horses have with healing people as well. Just like dogs are medicine, so are horses. And I know that they do a lot of therapy with autism, PTSD, and things like that. So that's going to be a really awesome
part of the retreat.
Yeah.
Or sanctuary.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and we're going to be saving horses as well. And who knows? The sky's the limit. If you're familiar with Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, it's one of their network partners
in Las Vegas.
That's actually. So Best Friends, their sanctuary is in Kanab, Utah.
Oh, okay.
But they are the largest animal sanctuary in the United States. And they have network partners in all 50 states, and Marley's Mutts is one of them. And, if you've ever been up to their sanctuary...
You volunteered there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an incredible place. It's magic. It's absolute magic. And so I can kind of, see how Marley's can, make something similar to that. It's going to be pretty amazing to watch it happen in the next couple of years.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Leslie's telling us about her event here locally in Las Vegas and how her service industry friends have pulled together and rallied. She's rallied them, the awesome cheerleader of Marley's Mutts for Las Vegas, and brought them all together. And so that event's coming up.
That's right. So, I'm in the hospitality industry, and, there are a lot of amazing people in this industry. They have really come together and rallied for this fundraising event for Marleys, Mutts. So we're hosting it at the Sand Dollar Lounge, which is on Polaris in Spring Mountain, and we're having it on Sunday, September 17th. It's at a bar, so it's going to happen at nighttime, so all of our service industry friends can make it to the party. We'll have a raffle where lots of amazing restaurants and services have donated their products and goods and gift cards and things like that for the raffle. So just come on in. Angel's Envy is supplying bourbon. If you purchase any drinks with Angel's Envy bourbon, the proceeds go to Marley's Mutts. And
tell us what Marley's Mutts is doing for Houston.
Yeah, so in fact, for the last few weeks, they've been, or I guess maybe 2 weeks, they've been gathering supplies. Best Friends is already there, so they're going to be connecting up with the volunteers from Best Friends to keep the supply train coming in, keep water coming, pet beds, shampoo, medicine, all of these things that are desperately needed down there. It's interesting because some organizations have gotten flack because they weren't the first ones to respond. I feel like it's kind of closer to home is who responds first. And the need for supplies keeps coming in, so that's where the arm reaches out. And so it's equally as important that they are
supported,
coming in later as it's happening. So
it definitely has a process.
So they're heading down in the morning, actually.
Oh my gosh.
And Marley's Zach posted about it yesterday. He was saying that they're probably going to camp out on their way there.
Wow.
And then they're taking a bunch of crates, and they are hoping to take about 15 or so dogs with them from the shelters there. So these are homeless dogs from the shelters, so that dogs that do have owners, but they need a place for their animals to be safe until they're back into their homes, without any kind of risk of anything bad happening. So it's kind of a little switcheroo. Yeah, so they'll be rescuing some dogs from Houston, so that the dogs that do have homes that are flooded, they'll have a safe place until things get
better.
Amazing. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Until things dry off.
So, right? Those people, our hearts go out to them for sure, and all those babies. So let us know where we can donate.
Okay, so we are getting donations through CrowdRise this year. So if you go to www.crowdrise.com/Leslie Hannifin, that's my page, and all of those funds will go towards the marathon fundraising, and we'll hopefully reach our goal before it's too late.
Well, everybody's rooting for you.
Thank you. I want to cross that finish line, or those finish lines. That's the goal.
So what are you doing to prep, girly?
Well, doing a lot of running. I've actually done a lot of hiking as well. It's important to do cross training,
like elevation and stuff.
Yes, I just ran the Rocky Mountain National Park half marathon as preparation for the marathon training.
Where was that at?
That's in Estes Park in Colorado.
Oh wow! So there's some elevation for you. Huh?
Yeah, and it was a fun little weekend trip. So
cool.
Got to get out of town, did some hiking while I was there. And doing that, and yoga, and just trying to
clean eating and all that fun stuff.
Of course.
Well, Leslie, it's been awesome having you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I mean, this came together just perfectly.
Let's do it again. Cheers. Cheers. Love you, Abram.
So I love you too, girl. So come see Leslie at the Sand Dollar. She has a public Facebook event. If you want to follow her on that, we're going to have all the links hooked up for you on our page at WWDBTV.com under the programming of the Health and Wellness Hour. My name is Abram McGrath, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.